What's up, everybody? This is Zoya, the Russian Korean, and I'm back from my little vacation. It wasn't really vacation, it was just visiting my aunt in the south of Korea, in a city called Busan. It's the second largest city in Korea. And, I thought about making a vlog before I even went because something happened that was pretty major. And, but I just didn't have time to sit down and film because it literally happened the day before I left and I had a lot of work to do. I also had a stream and then anyway, didn't get a chance to actually record anything. But now that the weekend is gone and I'm back and I thought, you know what, I need to film a vlog episode. I have actually quite a lot of vlog ideas, so I will probably be making more of those. Hopefully at least once a week. Just come out with a vlog episode, just kind of updating on what's happening. We're just talking about life in Korea and whatever is happening. But today's more of an update video, and I wanted to talk about a new family member, I guess. So I should probably start in the beginning. So I have some footage of it because I was filming it on my phone, but a lot of it's vertical because I wasn't thinking at that time that I'm going to be making a video about this. So I need to film horizontally. But anyway, I'll put it in here and there just so you get a visual representation of what was actually going on. So on Wednesday in the morning, my husband and we went out into the mountain, the nearby mountain. So right now is the season and we were gathering what's called gosari in Korean. Let me see what it's called in English. I should have researched this before filming. Okay, Google says it's supposed to be bracken, but when I'm looking at it, I think it's basically fern. It's edible fern. And the area where we moved, because we moved from the city very close to Seoul, we moved very far to the western part of Korea, very close to the seashore. And so in our province, there's a lot of this fern growing, which is actually pretty expensive and not that easy to pick because it grows on very steep slopes on the mountain. We went and we were picking that all morning, and then towards lunchtime we finished with that, and then we went straight into fishing because it was a holiday in Korea. It was Children's Day, so people weren't working. My husband was off work. I also had work off, so we thought together, why not just spend the day outside? So we went fishing right after that. The weather was great and we were spending our time fishing, and then at one point I just kind of got tired, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go in the car and just take a quick nap. And my husband was like, sure, you can go. So I go into the car and I just kind of settle in, right? And I don't know, a few minutes later, I thought, I was a little bit half asleep, but I thought I was hearing a meow. I don't know, I thought it was in my dream. I didn't think it was actually happening in real life. But even though I kind of ignored the sound, it just I kept hearing it. It was this little meow. I just thought to myself, why am I hearing meowing? And then I hear my husband and he says, hey, wake up. There's a really nice cat here. And again, because I'm half asleep in the car, I felt like I was just dreaming the whole thing. And then I kind of realized that I'm not dreaming because my husband kept calling me. Then I was like, okay, I probably need to get up and take a look at what's happening. So I get out of the car and there is my husband next to the car, and right next to him is this little cat. And the cat was super friendly. It was begging to be pet. It was near his feet, and I felt wow, this is a very friendly cat. And there are houses a little bit further away from the lake where we were fishing. So I thought maybe this cat is just from the house, right there. Because it was just too friendly. It was unlikely at first sight that this cat is a stray. Because in my experience, when I meet really stray cats that have been out on the street for a while, they're scared of people. And they don't really come up to you that much. Not all stray cats, of course, but most of them would be like that. They wouldn't just, come up to a stranger and beg to be pet for no reason. So anyway, once I got out of the car and I saw the cat and I pet the cat, I was like, okay, I'm kind of awake now. So I went back to the fishing spot with my husband and the cat just followed us. The cat sat next to us and it was just chilling. I was wondering when the cat was gonna go away, but it didn't go away. It just sat there. And then at one point, my husband started catching fish. The first fish he caught, it was like pretty tiny, like maybe this size. It's like the little crucian carp. And as soon as the cat saw that, her eyes got really big and she was like meowing really loudly, like clearly asking for it. She was like trying to grab it with her paw. So my husband took it off the hook and gave it to her. Immediately, she took the fish. She ran a little bit away, like a little bit further away from us, and just ate the whole thing. At that point, I already kind of observed that the cat was really skinny. Because when I touched her, on the head, it's fine, but like as soon as you touch the body, it's all just bones. So then I thought, okay, if this cat is someone's cat, then they're not feeding her. It was pretty clear that the cat has been starving because she ate the first fish like in a matter of seconds and then came right back to us and just sat there waiting for another one. So my husband catches another one. He gives her another one. She takes it just like with the first one, goes and just eats it really fast and then comes right back. This happened like at least 5 times. He would catch a fish and she would beg for it. He would give it to her. She would eat it fully, like everything. And another thing at that point that I also observed was that the cat didn't go away from us to eat. It would eat very close to us. But also that by the time like the 4th fish hit, it didn't really eat it as desperately anymore. It clearly, I think at that point wasn't hungry, but kept stuffing itself with food, which tells me that this cat probably is not sure whether there will be like a food source in the near future or like tomorrow or whatever. So stuff yourself with as much food right now as possible because you don't know whether there's going to be food tomorrow. So at that point, I'm like, okay, maybe this cat is actually a stray. It's really skinny, which means the cat hasn't eaten or properly eaten for at least a few days straight. Also displays signs of starvation because is eating really fast and everything. And a third thing that also we kind of figured out, because she was very close and we were able to kind of look at her. I found a few like big ticks on her, which means she's been out in the wild. Like now I do know that if you keep your pet outside, will probably get bugs on it, right? Especially if you don't treat it with anything. But that just kind of added on top of all the other things that we were observing. And it's like, okay, this cat's probably been living outside, probably has been starving. And that's why this cat came and attached itself to us so that we would give it some food. It was also evident that probably other fishermen have fed this cat before because the cat knew that we were gonna give it fish. So anyway, at that point, it's already like, I don't know, at least like an hour or an hour and a half that we've spent with the cat. And the cat is not leaving and is just staying with us. It's jumping on my husband's lap. It's jumping on my lap. We're like, okay, what do we do now? And my husband was like, I really want to take it with us. Can we take it with us? And I was skeptical, I'll be honest, because part of me was like, I feel like this is someone's cat. Like it could literally be a cat of those people next door. But the people next door actually came out a few times. They were fixing some sort of water machine on their little rice farm. And they paid absolutely no attention to the cat, didn't feel the need to call for it. And the cat never felt the need to go to them. So I'm like, okay, it's probably not their cat. And so then I was like, okay, if this cat, once we are done fishing, if this cat actually follows us, then let's take it. But if it doesn't follow us, then we're not going to force it to come with us and we will just leave. I'd say I was almost 95% positive that this cat was not going to follow us because like once we're done fishing, we're basically just strangers. We're not a food source anymore and it doesn't know where we're going. But anyway, we packed up once we were done and then we start walking back to the car and the cat keeps walking with us. It was hesitating for sure, but it still followed. We came to the car and then I remember I was like shocked when that happened. I opened the door and I was like, there's no way that this cat is actually gonna like get in the car, right? It's probably gonna be pretty difficult to get the cat in the car. But I opened the door and as soon as I open the door, it just jumps in the car. And I'm like, okay, we're taking this cat home. I was like, this is a sign from God, okay, that this cat is supposed to come with us. So yeah, on Wednesday, we just wanted to go pick some fern and catch some fish, but we brought a cat home instead. In the car, the cat was really nervous. We actually weren't sure whether it's a boy or a girl. At first, we just kind of assumed that it was a boy. And my husband was like, what should we name him? I was like, let's name him Rangar. It actually would have been pretty cool if it was a boy, then would have definitely named him Rangar. But it was not a boy. After checking out, her private parts, we realized it's not a boy. So instead of Rangar, we decided to name her Kaisa because, Kaisa survived in the void by herself. Anyway, we brought Kaisa home. We took a bunch of ticks out, the ones that we could find at least. And then my husband ran really quickly to the nearest pet store, which luckily was open even though it was a holiday. And then he got, all the necessary cat stuff. We gave her a bath. Interestingly, like the entire time at the lake, in the car, and then when we brought her home, she never even attempted to fight, to bite, to scratch, like nothing. It was a very peaceful cat. And like if she just wasn't comfortable with something, like when I was giving her a bath, she was just meowing and like trying to like kind of avoid water a little bit, but she wasn't like freaking out. I have some experience, raising a cat and just dealing with a cat, giving them a bath. So like I made it as stressless as possible. It was pretty quick. And like it was probably the least chaotic cat bath I have ever given to a cat. All in all, she's a really, really nice, like very tamed, peaceful cat. It was super easy to trim her claws as well. She didn't even like flinch or anything. I was like, dang, this cat must have been like really loved and domesticated before. And I was just wondering like what happened? How come this cat ended up on the street? And like, I mean, there could be all sorts of circumstances. I know that in Korea, actually, there are a lot of cases where like old grandpas and grandmas, they keep pets, and then when they pass away, no one wants to take care of the pets and they just basically end up on the street. And like that could be the case, but I wasn't really sure. I guess there's no way to know. So my husband actually took her to the vet the next day to see like what's up and whether she is chipped or anything. Because I was traveling to the south to see my aunt, I wasn't there at the vet's, but my husband was there, and he took Kaisa to the vet, and then he kind of updated me on what happened. So he told me that when they came there and they like examined her and everything, looks like they didn't find any chip because they didn't mention anything about that. They gave her the flea and tick and like heartworm whatever treatment, and they also gave her an ultrasound because when we found her and we gave her a bath and then we were able to like look at her belly, her nipples were really swollen, and like I was like, is she pregnant? Because, or did she feed, was she like feeding kittens? Because like it's kind of like too big, because I've seen other female cats and like their nipples and like they're not that big, and usually if it's that big it means that like they're feeding. Also, even though she was really skinny, if you looked at her from like top to bottom, you could see that like there's bone, and then in her belly there's like this a little bit of swelling kind of. So I was like, what if she's pregnant and we just brought ourselves like not one cat but like 5? So when my husband actually brought her to the vet, they were like, she could be pregnant, let's do an ultrasound. So they did an ultrasound, but then they said, you know what, we couldn't find any kittens, but she seems to have a tumor, and it's a tumor that apparently has been left alone for a while, like untreated. And that's why it's gotten so big, to the point that like when you just look at her, you can see it and it looks like she's pregnant, but she's not. So with that information, they kind of said to us, in 2 weeks, come back. We will probably have to do some analyses and see what this thing is. Hopefully it's benign, but like they don't know and we don't know. So anyway, Kaisa has a tumor. It could potentially be cancer in its very late stages. They said the surgery that will be required to remove it is very expensive and very complicated. One thing they told us though is that because we found her on the street, they would be able to give us some sort of like discount, but I don't think the discount will really be that much, because they still basically made it sound like it's gonna be a major surgery and it's gonna be expensive. And if it is actual cancer, there is no guarantee that like it will actually help. So I guess in 2 weeks, I'll update you guys on what's happening with that, because right now I really have no idea. We have no idea what it is. And like, if it's benign and doing a surgery to remove it, no matter how expensive it is, will actually help, and then she'll be able to live like just fine, then I think it's worth it. But if it's something like, anyway, like I've been thinking about it, whether it's wise to put an animal through like so much medical procedure and invest so much money into it to eventually just make it slowly die in suffering. Like, I don't know. But another thing that the doctors also confirmed, they said this cat has been starving and is very skinny, so you need to feed it a lot because it's too skinny. Like, she needs to eat as much as possible. And the good thing is she has appetite, so she eats. We got her, some good food. So yeah, she's eating every day. She's fine with that. She's still very skinny though. Like, it's been a few days that she's been with us, but she's still very skinny. The positive thing in all this is that besides the tumor and besides the starvation, she is fine. She doesn't have any skin diseases. She doesn't have any like other major problems. And yeah, overall, she seems to be a pretty healthy kitty. They can't determine her exact age, but they said she's probably like a year old or something. She doesn't look that old to me. So after hearing, what's happening with her tumor and all that stuff, I think I have kind of an idea of what happened with her. So it looks to me that yes, she did have owners before because of how she approaches humans, and she knows that, you can get food and get love from humans, and she's not aggressive at all. But I think she was thrown out. She was abandoned either for some whatever other reasons personally, but it may also be that she was taken care of and then they found out that she's sick and that she has cancer and that they will have to spend a lot of money on her to treat her. And so instead of, keeping her and trying that, or instead of giving her up to the shelter, they just decided, you know what? I don't even know how you can like do that, but like, at least if you want to give up the animal, just like give it up to the shelter. Like, don't just let her go out on the street by herself. So I guess she's been out on the street long enough to starve and to grow the tumor to the point where it's a real problem now. But regardless, I don't know what happened in the past. I can't really judge her previous owners if she had some. Like, I don't know what their situation was. Regardless of that, right now we have Kaisa with us. She is now part of the family. She's very affectionate, a little bit clingy, I would say, which, I mean, is explainable because she's been out on the street and she's kind of, it looks like she's a little bit afraid of being abandoned. So every time she's not sure where we are, she starts like meowing, looking for us. She follows me everywhere where I go. Interesting thing though, she doesn't come into this room. I don't know if she's scared of the computers and the light or whatever, but like she came in here the first time. And like the first time we brought her into the house, we let her like look around, except for the bedroom, of course, because we weren't sure like what she had on her. But she explored and she came into this room like for, I don't know, like less than a minute. And then she walked out and she doesn't like going in here, and I don't force her to go in here. It's actually like better for me if she doesn't come in here too much and doesn't disturb me when like I'm working or, streaming or something. But she is well, she's eating well, and overall, I think the fact that she's with us, she's at peace. She sleeps a lot. She probably was very exhausted being outside. Yeah, overall, she's a pretty happy kitty for now. I'll probably keep posting, like pictures and videos of her on my Instagram. So excuse me if you're not a cat person and you really don't care about the cat, but she's so cute. And yeah, I'll keep you updated on what's happening with her health. Hopefully it's gonna be okay. But regardless, I'll keep you guys posted. So yeah, that was the update, my vlog update for now. And I will, like I said, I will try to make more vlog videos on like what's, I guess, happening with my life, because people have been asking me like, when are you going to make your other vlog? Where did the vlogs go? And I'm like, oh, they're there. I have some ideas. I just need to get to them. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. You subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what you think about the situation. Do you have any other theories on what possibly could have happened to the cat? How do you like the name Kaisa? And would you like to see her in future videos? But I think I'll stop here for now. So this was Zoya, the Russian Korean. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.